Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Today I want to talk about how confidence plays into a number of areas in your VA business. Today's quote is from Dr. Henry Cloud. You get what you tolerate. Whatever you're willing to put up with is what you're going to experience more of. This is an excellent business lesson and one we will expand on today. Let's go. I'm Tracy Daviero, your host and confidence coach for virtual assistants. My mission is to help you grow a thriving VA business by developing the confidence to own your value and your worth, to set boundaries, and to build meaningful client relationships. In today's episode, we're tackling 3 crucial areas that can make or break your success as a VA: mastering boundaries, confidently setting and increasing your rates, and fostering strong, healthy, happy client relationships. These are skills that require courage, clarity, and a whole lot of practice. By the end of this episode, you'll walk away with actionable steps to make real changes in your business. So get your notebook and let's get started. Confidence is the foundation of every successful VA business. It impacts everything you do, from saying no to an unreasonable client request to quoting your rates without hesitating or negotiating. When you show up confidently, people trust you. They value your work and they respect your time. But here's the thing. Confidence is not something that we're all born with. It's something that you have to build. Every time you stand firm on one of your boundaries, or communicate your worth, or handle a tricky or sticky client situation with grace, you are building confidence. I once worked with a VA who had very little confidence in her rates. Well, truth be told, I was also that VA at one time. But anyway, this one would never quote her full rate to clients when they asked. She always ended up saying a lower number, or if the client said they couldn't afford her services, she would negotiate. So she came to me for help. And when we actually worked out what her expenses were, and she knew how much she had to charge in her business, she became more confident in quoting them. Why? Because she knew why she was charging what she was charging. And of course, she knew that it was the right amount. We also worked on package pricing for her so that she was very clear in what she would and would not do for her clients. Her discovery calls became so much easier because she was confident in the services that she offered and how much it would cost the client to hire her to provide them. This is why it's so important to strengthen your confidence muscles, because the more confident you are, the more your business thrives. Let's get into the first area where confidence can make a huge difference: in boundaries. Boundaries are essential in any business, but especially in a VA business where your time and energy are your most valuable resources. Without boundaries, it's easy to feel overworked, underappreciated, and even sometimes resentful. So what do boundaries look like in practice? They start with clear communication. From the moment you onboard your client, you should set the expectations around things like response times, lead times, availability, scope of work, and so on. A welcome packet or contract is a great tool to detail all of these, along with great, consistent communication. Here's an example. If a client frequently messages you after hours, you can respond with something like, "Thanks for reaching out. I'll take care of this during my office hours tomorrow." It's polite, professional, and it reinforces that boundary. Managing your client's expectations is key to making sure that you and they both follow your boundaries. I helped a VA hold a client to her boundaries recently, but it wasn't really the client's fault that they were being broken. It was the VA's. Her rule was that they communicated by email and by project management system. That's where they communicated. Yet when the client texted her or phoned her, she would respond, and then she'd get mad. But she was teaching that client that it was okay to use a different method of communication by responding to them. If she doesn't hold the boundary, the client quickly thinks that the boundary has changed, and that's not always their fault. Maintaining boundaries will free you in ways that you don't even realize. Believe me on this one. Every single VA that I've worked with to set and hold boundaries thanks me over and over again for a really long time. Another key to maintaining boundaries is learning to say no without feeling guilty. I know this can be hard, especially at first, and especially if you're a people pleaser, but saying yes to everything is the fast track to burnout. Write down one boundary you need to set or reinforce this week. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but trust me, your future self is going to thank you. Now let's move on to a topic that makes many VAs squirm: rates. If you've ever felt nervous or unsure when quoting your rates, you are not alone. Many VAs, especially those who are just starting out, struggle with imposter syndrome and they undervalue their services. But here's the truth: you deserve to be compensated fairly for the skills and expertise and experience and value that you bring to your clients. Let's talk about how to calculate your rates. Start by considering your financial needs. How much do you want to earn monthly? And then factor in your working hours, your expenses, and your taxes. That gives you a baseline for what you need to charge in your business. But remember, your rates are about more than just covering your bills or your expenses. They reflect the results that you deliver. So when you're confident in the value you provide, it's so much easier to stand by your rates, even if a potential client wants to push back. I mean, clients only push back if they think there's room to move, right? Like I talked about earlier. But it's really important for you to be confident in what you decide to charge. Knowing why your rate is set where it is a really big part of this. Another important point is knowing when and how to raise your rates. If you've been working with a client for a while and your skills or your workload have evolved, it's perfectly reasonable to adjust your pricing. One approach is to give your client advance notice. Something like, "Hi client, I've loved working with you. I'm excited to continue supporting your business. Starting next month, my rates will increase to whatever your new rate is. I look forward to continuing to work with you." It's simple, respectful, and communicates complete confidence. I always tell you, you don't need to tell your clients why you're raising your rates. Does McDonald's tell you why they're raising the price of their products? No, they don't. There's no need to. Just be polite and tell them when and how much. Review your current rates and ask yourself if they truly reflect your worth. If not, maybe it's time to make a change. Now let's talk about the relationships that keep your business running, your clients. A successful VA business isn't just about finding clients, it's about keeping the right ones, the best ones. And healthy client relationships are built on trust, communication, and respect, all mutual, of course. The first step to building trust is setting expectations. Do this from day one. Onboarding is your chance to clarify the scope of work, deadlines, how you'll communicate, things like that. And tools like your contract, your welcome packet, or even a How I Work document can help you save so much trouble down the line. Let's talk for a minute about communication. Regular check-ins or progress updates show your clients that you're invested in their success. Something as simple as a weekly email summarizing what you've accomplished can go away to building trust. And of course, a production call every week, I still highly recommend. But one of the biggest struggles VAs come to me for help with is what we would call difficult clients. They get frustrated that their clients are doing or saying things that differ from what they initially discussed and certainly what the VAs themselves expected. Communication is one of the most important parts of working virtually. If you do it well, you can work well with clients. If you don't do it well, you're probably going to struggle. Good communication goes along with managing expectations. And when you're confident in all the things that you bring to your client's business, you can communicate those well, very easily, and you're going to do well. If you don't communicate them well, then again, you're probably going to struggle. Most clients don't want to micromanage what you do. Give them the confidence to leave you to do your work, and your relationship with them will take off. And let's not forget conflict resolution. It's inevitable that misunderstandings or disagreements will arise, but how you handle them will make or break your relationship with your client. My advice: stay calm, focus on the facts, and propose a solution that works for everyone. If a client pushes back on a deadline, you might say, "I understand this is a priority for you, but based on my current workload, I can adjust the timeline by whatever, a day or two. Does that work for you?" Something like that. You can be kind and polite when holding boundaries, but you do have to be firm. Healthy relationships require effort from both sides, and setting boundaries and communicating effectively can help you ensure that they remain strong. Think about your current clients. Is there one relationship that can be improved with better communication, clearer boundaries, or something else? Take one step this week to address it. Before we wrap up, let's go over the action steps I mentioned that you can take today to boost your confidence and level up your VA business. Number 1, write down one boundary that you need to set or reinforce. I bet there's one. Number 2, review your rates and adjust them if necessary. Again, you can do this and just give your client the appropriate notice. It's really simple. Number 3, evaluate your client relationships and identify one area for improvement. Again, I'm certain that there's one thing that you can change that will make both of you happier, whether it's communication, setting expectations, or resolving an ongoing issue, something that's been going on that you want to make better. These kinds of small steps can lead to big changes in your business. If you're looking for more support, be sure to connect with me for your free cut to the chase call. You can find the link to book yours in the show notes for this episode. Confidence isn't something that happens overnight, but with each boundary that you set, the rate you own, and the client relationship that you nurture, you're going to see yours grow. Remember, you're not just a virtual assistant, you're a business owner, a professional, and someone who deserves to be respected and valued. Let's circle back to today's quote. You get what you tolerate. What are you tolerating? What should you be changing so that your VA business looks more like the way you envisioned it when you started out? Words to think about, right? Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, I would love for you to share it with another VA or leave a review. It helps more people discover the show. Until next time, keep building that confidence and remember, you've got this. And I've got you. If you need help taking a step forward, I'm here to help. It's the only reason I'm here at all is to help you become a ridiculously good virtual assistant. I've helped hundreds of VAs who are stuck get moving through private coaching, my monthly mastermind group, my group coaching programs, and my self-study trainings. If you are ready to get my help, let's connect on that cut to the chase call. You can book yours at yourvamentor.com/chase. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.